Hey everybody, how's it going? Jordan Norell here, and today I want to talk about an idea I had that is something's kind of a protest activist strategy that I think could be useful at some point along the route to making circumcision illegal. Um, the idea is a simple boycott, and it would be, there's a few different forms it could take, but the most general form would be boycotting doctors or boycotting hospitals that perform circumcisions at all. And this would be a little bit difficult at first because right now most doctors who are qualified to perform circumcisions and are in that position just do it, like 99% or something, like probably more than 99% if I had to guess. It's very, very rare that a doctor gets in that position and then becomes a conscientious objector. It's just very rare at this point. And I don't know of any hospitals that don't perform circumcisions. I don't think that that's something that exists, that a doctor or that a hospital in the United States delivers babies and doesn't perform circumcisions. So these things aren't really possible at this point because you wouldn't have anybody to go to boycott, and they probably won't be possible for another couple years till the movement has grown significantly. However, at that point, I think once there are a significant number, I don't know, say, there's already 50% of the population who's not circumcising, but once there's more, there's probably only 10% or so around that of the population who's really against it, who would actually go full on with the boycott all of the doctor services and just go for it, even if it's a doctor who they've been with for a long time. There's a lot of people, I'd say probably closer to 10% at this point, who would go with that, who would really be willing to boycott any doctor or hospital who performs a surgery. So I think that needs to be a little bit higher, and I think that we need to somehow leverage and get more doctors on our side and be able to have doctors who are offering that a lot more, or even whole hospitals. I think, if we wanted, we could start with, say, a hospital in San Francisco or something like that, somewhere where there's a lot of awareness around this issue, where there's a lot of support for it, and where we could even, pay doctors extra or something like that, or have some kind of incentive to make it so that they know that they aren't going to lose out by doing this. If we could somehow throw more money into it, that's another thing that would really help. And as the movement grows, I think we may also be able to do that more, and help so that these doctors are still compensated fully for all of their services, and that people don't have to pay any extra, or if there's an extra cost to go to a hospital that's farther away, that there's somehow that balances out. Although I think if people are passionate about it, even if we can't get it to be somehow cost effective, I think there's enough people who it'll work, and it will start to catch on as the movement grows and there's more people who are interested in it, and it'll make, it'll add to the noise and it'll make people more aware of it. And if it's really successful, it could create a huge financial burden for doctors who are still performing the surgery. And so I think that boycotting could be an effective strategy at some point. I think there's other ways too. If everybody who was affected by circumcision wrote a letter to their doctor, and if we all coordinated and did it at the same time, and a doctor received a bunch of letters about how circumcision has caused this person severe trauma, sexual difficulties, to a horrible extent, or letters from men who really, really like their foreskin and are pretty certain that that's the best part of their penis, would also be, or men who are restored and have gotten that back, or gotten some of it back, and can say that even though I haven't got all the nerve endings back, sex is still a billion times better than it used to be. Like, this is my personal story, I'm your patient, please listen to me. Please listen to us, because there's a lot of us, and this number is rapidly growing. And so I think coordinating together and putting more and more pressure on doctors and on hospitals and doing creative things like this to just raise the awareness, as well as put emotional and financial pressures, are really all just smart, different ideas. There's a lot of other strategies, but those are a couple that I think could be effective in helping us along this issue especially as it continues to grow. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, any other activist strategies you'd like me to talk about, or ideas that you have, I'd love to talk to you. I always appreciate all your comments and questions. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.